Alright, I just got these in. Check this out.
Pretty slick.
Alright, so those are going to be up on my site for sale really soon. Right now, I'm going to go to Harbor Freight. I got to buy a paint sprayer to finish a project. So for about 12 years, I've been driving a Ford Focus. It's a good little car, works great, except when you need to pick up a 4x8 sheet of plywood. So now that I'm doing this full time, it was time to get something bigger. So recently, my family and I went up to Virginia and I bought a Land Cruiser. So why am I telling you about the Land Cruiser? Well, I got a comment recently when I posted a picture of it that said something like, so-and-so has a Land Cruiser and he's on YouTube. Is that why you got one? And it's not, but that got me thinking about how we compare people who have similar interests or similar talents or whatever, and how we just assume that one of them is probably copying the other. And this isn't me being defensive toward that comment or anything, this just started a really long train of thought. So mainly lately I've been thinking about the difference between being unique and being original. A lot of times we think those are the same thing, but I don't think they are. Being original is when you do something for the first time. You're the first one to come up with a new idea or to do a new thing that's never been done before. Being unique is very different though. I think being unique is when you take something that's already existing and you do something to it or you do something with it that makes it your own. So when you make something unique, you're making it different because it's infused with who you are, what you think, where you're from, what you've experienced, what you have at your disposal. There's a lot of different variables that can go into it, but the point is that you are the thing that makes that object or that media or whatever unique. So one of the questions I get a whole lot from people is, I really want to start making videos for YouTube, but I don't want to be a copycat. I don't want to do what you're doing. I don't want to do what other people are doing. How do I stand out? How do I do things that are different? And my response to them is, don't worry about doing the same project as people. Don't worry about using the same visual mechanisms that other people use. Just try to find a way to make those things your own, to do them in a way a little bit different, something that's unique to you, something that has your personality in it.
So much stuff, like a candy store. Hey, how are you doing?
So anyway, back to the thought. I think about being unique and being original in this way. I think of uniqueness in the context of YouTube kind of being like an orchestra. So in an orchestra, everybody plays the same song, but they all play different parts. Their instruments have different tones to them. They sound different when they're alone, but when they play together, it makes a really big, awesome sound. Kind of like how YouTube is becoming this really big, awesome platform for lots of change and lots of media. So in an orchestra, there's often a soloist, somebody who's out front, has a part that sticks out for a little while, and you focus on that and you kind of forget about that everybody else is also still playing their part and they're doing their job. So when it comes to YouTube, we think of a soloist as usually somebody who's very popular or is really passionate about what they're doing, and they usually stand out front. They're kind of the loudest in a crowd. We usually use that person as the benchmark for what everybody else is doing. So normally we think that the loudest person in a group is the original one and everybody else is copying them, and that's not always the case. The fact is, they're all working together. They're all doing the same song in the same place at the same time, but they're doing different parts of it. They're doing it in their own unique way. And imagine that even the loudest person in the group is being original. Does that mean that nobody should ever do the same thing and make it their own? That they should make their unique version of it? I don't think so, because I mean, you think about filmmaking. Somewhere way back, there was somebody that did a time lapse. And does that mean that nobody else should ever do a time lapse? Or that somebody made a single long action shot? Does that mean nobody else should try that in their own way? No, absolutely not. It's important for us to understand that it's okay to do the same thing as somebody else, as long as we try to make it our own, try to make it unique. Okay, so what does this have to do with the Land Cruiser? Well, not a whole lot, honestly, but that is a truck that a lot of other people have had. It's like 23 years old. There's a lot of them in the world. It's not original, right? It's not the only one. It's not a one of a kind, but it is mine. So I have the opportunity to be able to do some stuff to it to make it unique, to make it my own. And that's pretty awesome. I'm really excited about that. I'm also blessed enough to be able to make YouTube videos, which means I can share with you guys what I'm doing to the truck, so that's cool. But that's not even the most important part. The most important part to me is that people understand it's okay to do things that are similar to other people, as long as you are putting yourself into it and it's unique to you. I just don't want people not to make things just because other people are already making things. I don't think that's good for anybody. So anyway, in the Land Cruiser, I'm going to be doing some stuff to it to make it my own, to make it the ILikeToMakeStuff company car, because it kind of is. And so today we're going to take the first step in that. It's very, very small, but let's go do that right now. Come on.